Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Trey and this is my very first YouTube video. So basically I'm a big NBA fan, so most of my content will be about NBA topics, and they'll be kind of like a podcast style, just like this video will be. I'm not very good with editing or anything like that, but I feel like all the things I want to talk about will be just fine in this style. So today I want to talk about the NBA's MVP race, if it's even a race right now. Not really. We're just at the starting line. But I took a look at the odds from Monday, October 25th, so last Monday. Today's the 28th. And then I looked at Basketball Reference's MVP tracker, which they're a great site for stats and stuff, but I don't feel the MVP tracker is too accurate. And here's why. At number one, Rudy Gobert at 60%. If the MVP race were to end today, they think Rudy Gobert would have the best chance to win it. And it's not particularly close. Stephen Curry only has a 13% chance at number two. So Gobert, they are pretty much saying would be unanimous MVP. And you know, I love Gobert. I'm a Jazz fan myself, so I love Gobert. He's a great player. He's very valuable. I just don't see him as an MVP candidate just because of his almost lack of impact offensively. And he makes a big offensive impact just because he's a lob threat. He's turned himself into a pretty good finisher as well, but just being 7'1" and super athletic, it makes him a pretty big paint threat. And he's averaging almost 19 points per game and 19 rebounds off 70% shooting, which is just insane. He's also going to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, if not win the award. One of the greatest defenders of all time. And he's only 27, 28. But I don't see him as an MVP candidate. The Jazz, I do think, should be the best team in the West again. They're just such a more team style of play. Not one player dominates the ball. Not one player is the main offensive player. Some games Donovan goes off. Some games Conley will be the best player. Some games it's Jordan Clarkson. But there's lots of ball movement. Players will get their shots. No one takes way more shots than another. And Gobert just can't create his own shot offensively. It's all from other players. This year he has looked very comfortable offensively. He looks better at the free throw line, which I don't want to overreact to that because he hasn't been in the past. But Gobert, at the odds, you could possibly get him at. He was not even on the list I saw of MVP odds. So what you could do is you could bet a little bit of money just in case it happens, and you could make so much off of it if he does win it. I just don't see him as a realistic MVP. Next up on the Basketball Reference MVP tracker was Stephen Curry, who I actually have as my number one guy to win MVP. I think he'll win MVP. He's averaging 29 points per game, 8 rebounds per game actually. I don't think he'll keep that up. And just 6.3 assists. That could go up. I definitely think his points per game will go up. He's only shooting 43% from the field and 40% from three, which are not Stephen Curry averages. So I think those will go up. I think he'll be scoring leader again. And the Warriors are already 4-0, undefeated. I think they'll continue winning games. And Stephen Curry is their go-to guy. The offense runs through him. He had to play the Thunder and the Kings, who, if you don't know, the Thunder have Lou Dort. The Kings have Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell is a rookie, but he's already one of the best perimeter defenders that I've seen this year. He is just so tough. He plays just like Lou Dort, who I think might be the best perimeter defender, at least one-on-one defender. He is just so tough. Davion Mitchell plays just like him. I can't blame Curry for struggling in those games when you're being harassed by Lou Dort and Davion Mitchell all game. Those two, they're so much fun to watch on defense. But Curry, I think the Warriors will win. I see them being a top team in the West. And if not a top team, I think there's no one on the top teams who will run away with MVP. So I think Curry has the best chance at winning MVP. He is my go-to guy, and his odds are only 9-1. Those are very good odds for Stephen Curry to win MVP. Now, the top two guys with odds for MVP, one of them's Luka Doncic. Stay away from him. I don't think the Mavericks will be good enough. His numbers, 24 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 8.7 assists per game. Very good numbers. I just don't think he has the help around him. I could see them potentially missing the playoffs. I don't think they will, but they'll be a low seed if they make it. They could be in the play-in, and I just don't think the Mavericks are good enough for Luka to win MVP. So I definitely wouldn't take his odds. Plus 550 is Luka and Giannis. Giannis is same odds. Giannis, it's Giannis. He's averaging, 27.5 points per game, 11.5 rebounds, 52% shooting from the field, and 35% from three. I don't know yet. It's way too early in the season if he'll sustain that 3-point percentage. It's a crazy leap from 30% a year ago. 35% is actually a huge difference from three. He's taken about the same amount of attempts, I will say. So he definitely hasn't improved his jump shot a crazy amount like some people in the preseason were thinking. But he's improved it. And he's putting up Giannis-like numbers. Numbers he put up in his past MVP seasons. I think the Bucks will be one of the top teams in the East. They're not right now, but I don't see the Bulls and the Hornets, who are the top two teams. I don't see them remaining there, especially not the Hornets. I'm not a believer quite yet. They have been playing very good, though, and they're a very fun team to watch. And the Bulls, I haven't watched too much yet, but I know even if they do finish with the top seed, I don't think Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, or Vucevic, their top three players, either of them will be an MVP candidate exactly. Zach LaVine is actually fourth in the MVP tracker with just 4%, and I think that'll go down. So Giannis is at 550. I don't know. I wouldn't take that personally. I just think I'm a huge Steph Curry believer. And there's also another guy in the East I like more, Kevin Durant. And at the beginning of the season, I would have said James Harden will be more of an MVP candidate than Durant. He just puts up better numbers. They won more last year with just him than they did with just Durant. But so far this year, I've been very wrong. James Harden has not done well. He doesn't look like James Harden. I don't think it's because of the foul rule. I do think some of it has to do with the new foul rules, which I absolutely love. But I just also don't think he's fully back in basketball condition. Because, he's shooting 34%, which some of that does have to do with him trying to bait fouls, and he's not getting them. And he's just jacking up a horrible shot. But I do think some of it, he just doesn't look as aggressive. He hasn't looked like James Harden. So don't take Harden. Harden was 20-1 odds at the beginning of the season, which I actually might have taken at the time. But right now, way too high. I think they're going to go down. He's averaging less than 20 points per game. Again, on 34% shooting. But Kevin Durant, the Nets have not been winning, but Kevin Durant is averaging 30 points per game, 10 boards, and 54% from the field, a career high, with 20.8 attempts per game, which ties his career high. It's a career high. So a high in attempts and in efficiency. Just insane. Especially for Kevin Durant, who's had many great seasons, obviously, former MVP, and I could see him winning another one again, because I just think he is by far the best player on the Nets. If he can take them to a good seed, without Kyrie, who I don't know if he'll come back. I know it doesn't sound like he doesn't want to play, he just doesn't want to get vaccinated. I think the New York vaccine mandate will go away. At least he should be able to get a religious exemption soon. It sounds like a judge ruled that not allowing a religious exemption is against the law. So if Kyrie I think, I'm not a political guy, so I'm not too sure, but I think he'll come back. But if Durant can give them a pretty good record until Kyrie comes back, and if James Harden's not playing well, I don't think the rest of the team is very good. I think they were a little overhyped coming into this season with their role players. And just not having that big three. Kevin Durant is the guy right now, just because Harden's not even playing at an MVP level, right? Or an all-star level, right now. And no Kyrie either. Patty Mills if I'm right, might be the second best player off the top of my head right now. Second offensive scoring option. So all I'm saying is I have Curry number 1 and Durant number 2. And honestly, I might have Durant number 1 if the Brooklyn Nets, I could trust the team more, but I can't. And his MVP odds were actually 7-1. If they go down or up, I can never remember. But if they go down to like 15-1 or something like that, which I could see happening just because of how Brooklyn's been playing, I would definitely take that. But Curry right now, I just have so much confidence in him to win MVP. But injuries do happen, and if Curry were to go down, I think it'll come down to Durant and Giannis. I couldn't really think of anyone else in the West who has a chance. LeBron has been playing all right. He's actually averaging 48% from 3, which I don't think he'll keep up. But only 26 points per game. His rebound and assist numbers weren't anything crazy. Luka, no. Who else was up here for odds? Embiid plus 900 or 9-1. What Embiid is averaging is all career lows I'm about to name. 19.3 points per game, 13.5 attempts, 44% from the field, and 7.3 rebounds per game. He is not playing anything like last year. Career lows everywhere. It's just insane for a guy like Joel Embiid. I don't know if it's the lack of Ben Simmons. His numbers should be up without Ben Simmons clogging up the paint. But also not having Ben Simmons, who's an elite passer. I'm not the biggest Ben Simmons fan, but he's a great passer on the offensive end. Just not having him there might have something to do with it. But if anything, Embiid's numbers should be way higher. And the fact that they're not, I don't think he'll win MVP if this continues. Again, it's way too early to say too much about the MVP race. Anything could change. Players could get hurt. Jokic, who I also will say had a 3% chance in the MVP tracker right now to win it. He was 15-1 odds. He recently got hurt. I don't know how long he'll be out. He knocked knees with Gobert, and he had to go out second half. He was warming up before the second half, but their coach had to take him out. So I don't think he'll be out too long. I don't think it'll impact him in the MVP race at all. I just also don't believe in Denver. So right now I have Curry at my number 1, especially at the odds he's at. Same with Durant. I do think, because these odds are from last Monday, I do think Curry's will probably become 5-1 or something. I think he'll be the leader in the MVP race, and Durant's might actually get a little more favorable if you want to bet on him, just because of how Brooklyn's been doing. But Curry at 1, I got Durant at 2, and Giannis probably at 3. I hope I'm not forgetting any names. Jimmy Butler, Zach LaVine, they were 3 and 4 in the MVP tracker. I would not bet on either of those guys. Jimmy Butler, just a great player, just not MVP caliber. Same with Zach LaVine. And Karl Anthony Towns was interesting. He's also at 4% on that list. And he will be very interesting to see if the Timberwolves can keep winning. And he's been averaging 28 points per game, pretty sure double-digit rebounds. He's playing very, very well. He'd be a guy to keep an eye on. I just don't think the Timberwolves can continue their production as a team. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't trust them. There's a lot of teams. It's too early to trust. But the Warriors I can trust. Milwaukee I can trust. Brooklyn has looked shaky, but James Harden is there. James Harden will return to James Harden form, I believe, and I believe their record will go up. And Durant, because of this, will play better. But again, it's really early. I don't know. I'll do updates on this series, but right now, I would put my life savings on Stephen Curry. So thank you guys for listening. I hope that gave you some good information. Please comment down below, discuss with me. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the MVP race. So thank you guys. Look for more uploads from me in the future. I'll be doing the same type of stuff, talking about the award races, just everything at NBA. So thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.